Well, Chelsea get handed a loss by Arsenal, losing 1-0 at the Emirates. Today's video, we're going to be talking about the tactics that Enzo Maresca utilized or didn't utilize, depending how you want to look at this, and what this means for Chelsea's future for finishing in the top four, because this was a massive blow. Let's be real here. This can take a lot of the momentum out of Chelsea's sail to finish into the top four. Now, granted, maybe the top five will still get Champions League, but we don't want to bank on that. And we do go into international break with the loss now, but we do come back playing Tottenham after that. But let's talk about the Arsenal game. Now, the first thing we need to look at is the formation. And this, in my opinion, is very questionable, to say the least, because when you look at this lineup, there's a head scratcher. Why is Battershield starting this match when Tosin is fully fit? And I believe Chalobah is also fully fit. Both those guys are better CBs than Battershield. I don't care what you say. We also saw Wesley Fofana playing as a right back. We saw Reece James as a CDM alongside Caicedo, and really, it's mind-boggling why you wouldn't have Wesley Fofana start and pair with Levi Colwell, have Reece James play as that right back, and then throw maybe Nkuku into the number 10, drop Enzo back, and we almost have a pretty normal formation and players playing in the right formation. But despite that, we decided to go Cucurella, Colwell, Battershield, then Wesley Fofana. Again, those two areas very questionable. Reece James next to Caicedo. I'm not going to see a whole lot of creativity between those two players. Yes, it's going to stop pretty much everything coming down the midfield, but it's going to stop any creativity. And then we have Enzo Fernandez sitting as number 10. We know how this has gone time and time again with different managers with this player. Yes, he can be creative, but he's so much better when he's so much deeper on the field and can play those long balls over the top. When he's sitting as a 10, there's just too much chaos, too much pressure from all the other players around him. He can't make those decisions and make the ball move where he wants to as quickly and find the open space. And we did see that in this game. Now, granted, I do understand Cole Palmer being out was a big knock to this, but Arsenal also had Saka out as well. So you can't say because we're missing our star, we should have done maybe better or worse, because Arsenal's also missing their top performer as well, who's very creative. So again, those two pretty much balance themselves out. And then we saw Nkuku on the left side, which I don't know what was going on with him today. I think it would have made more sense for him to then play the number 10 role, and then we would have brought maybe someone else from the bench like George into that left side, and then again when we saw Jadon Sancho on the right and Neto up front. Those did make sense, but like I said, that formation by itself, really, I don't know what Enzo Maresca was thinking, if he was trying to maybe outsmart Mikel Arteta with this and try to again be more defensively. But we've talked about how Arsenal have been struggling to score goals this season, and this was one of those things, like, we were really timid that they were going to just bombard us with attack after attack after attack. And shockingly, they did do that because we did sit back so far with these players that we had out there. We had no one that was able to push forward besides Neto. If you watch most of this game, you're seeing Chelsea just sit back and take blow after blow after blow from Arsenal. And luckily, they only scored once, and it was a bit of a fluke of a corner kick. I'm not going to take anything away from that goal from Mourinho. I think it was a good flick. Maybe he was looking for someone at the back post, and I'm not going to even say it was bad from Sanchez, because that ball is a looping ball. It is hit just perfectly, and it's out of the reach of Sanchez. And if we have a guy on the back post, I don't even know if we still do this anymore, if that's even a tactic anymore for corners. It used to be where you just had a guy sitting on the back post. If someone's standing there, they clear that ball, no problem. But yet we did not do that. And therefore, again, they scored on us in the 20th minute. And this was after multiple tacks where Sanchez had some pretty big saves. Yes, he did have a few errors as well, but again, speaking of what he was able to do, he still was maintaining what he needed to do, and he also had some bigger saves later in this game as well. And despite the game only ending 1-0, really did show that he did quite well, minus that little issue there. But like I said, our defense, they were getting run over time and time again from the left side, from the right side, even down the middle. And so by the time when you're seeing all this happen, you would have thought Enzo Maresca would have made some changes sooner, but he did not do that. He, for some reason, waited until I think the 70th minute or so to start moving things around, and it is way too late after that. And yes, we did have a few chances throughout the entire match. I think Cucurella probably had our best opportunity off a half volley, which again, we're having to rely on Cucurella as our attacking person. is just really, it's remarkable that this is the guy that we're trying to have score for us. He was able to get all 3 points for us against Leicester, who was a team that we should be beating with all the players that we have. But again, talking about the rest of this match, Neto, again, I think did fairly decent this game, but despite that, he had no help at all. There was multiple times where he had the ball, he's driving down the field, there's no one. And this is the big problem we were talking about earlier in this video, because Nkuku's not driving forward, Jadon Sancho's not driving forward, Enzo Fernandez isn't driving forward. Neto is an acre of space all by himself, and Arsenal is more than happy to defend that. They can have the players that can just stand him up, and he can't do anything about it. And we can't even whip him balls into that player, because if he's the player that we're trying to whip the ball into, he's out on the 18, and there's no one crashing in the box. And if someone is playing the ball into Neto, if he's crashing, he's not the guy that's going to win the header over Saliba, over Gabriel, or any of the other defenders from Arsenal. So again, going back to tactics, this by itself all was just played out wrongly. I'm not sure what Enzo Maresca, again, was thinking when he first thought of these tactics, but it wasn't the right thing. And really, we need to talk about Jadon Sancho and Nkuku. I think both these players had a pretty poor game, if I'm not going to be lying about it, because these guys, they just didn't show the effort that we need to see from players that really want to play for Chelsea. And again, it seems like both these players possibly already have just tuned themselves over the end of the season, or they're only caring about the Conference League. That's the only thing, because in this match, there was no like high energy pressing, going forward, coming back, helping out in defense. It was jog forward, jog back, move the ball quick, or not even quickly, move the ball, just kind of going through the motions for the most part. And because of this really did play a huge role in us trying to even break down Arsenal, because as we're just going through the motions, Arsenal are just going through the motions. Well, they know exactly how to defend. Take nothing away from Arsenal. They were great at defending. They've been able to defend multiple matches this season, last season, under Mikel Arteta. He knows how to defend. They, like I said, they've just been struggling scoring. And this was a game that we really should have been hitting them hard. I think George should have came out a lot sooner. And again, he would have added so much more value with the pace that he has and how much he actually plays for the badge. And we just weren't seeing it in this match. Overall, I will say Arsenal were the better team, which again is sad to say, because I think our Chelsea could have been the better team in this game. I think had we come out with a better formation, different players, and again the tenacity that we need to have against another team from London that's competing for the top 4, we could have done so much better. But like I said, we fell flat, just to say the least. And this is a game that we may look back at the end of the season where things really did go in the wrong direction, because now, yes, we are still in the top 4, but Newcastle do have a game in hand, and if they win that match, they will then leapfrog us and push us down to 5th. And as we know, 5th is very close between City and Brighton and Fulham and obviously Newcastle. So these whole areas could really move throughout the rest of the season, and we still have some pretty tough matches for the rest of the season. And there is a possibility that we don't win many after this match. So again, who knows where the end of the season does end with the international break. Hopefully we get some players coming back, especially Jackson, who's desperately needed. Hopefully Palmer is fully fit going into that Tottenham game, because we definitely need him as well. That is a game that we should be winning. The way that Spurs have been struggling this season, we should be getting all 3 points in that match, and again maintaining that top 4 position. But like I said, we got to play each and every game now and look exactly what needs to be done, because any slip-ups could be a huge difference for next season. So I do want to know though, what do you guys think about this match? Where were the problems in this match? Was it the tactics, the players, or was there something else that I missed? Because like I said, there were multiple things that I think we got wrong in this match, and especially Enzo Maresca. But like I said, we could have done better. We obviously could have done worse. But overall, we're still top 4, and we will see what happens after international break. If you did enjoy this, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe down below, and I will see you in the next video. And also check out the book I wrote. There will be a link down in the comments.